Malkin, who's your favorite group? Go ahead.
Do you have one group that you love?
Imagine Dragons.
There you go.
Really? Go look them up. Google them. If you have kids, you know who they are.
All right.
Hey, but I love the Oak Ridge Boys, too, I have to say. And I follow them on Twitter. I'd love them to come serenade me with Elvira.
Right. By the way, there's a group of Wiggles here in unitards who are very upset.
That's right. They're still here from the yoga thing. Hey, Michelle, let's talk a little bit about this. We just heard from Ed Henry. The President of the United States is back on vacation in Hawaii. Meanwhile, just miles from where we're sitting, there are tens of thousands of people whose houses were destroyed by Sandy. And it's interesting. You go back 60 days, the President of the United States was out at a big photo op with Chris Christie saying, I'm going to eliminate the red tape. I'm going to make sure that FEMA follows through. And now, 60 days later, nothing. Just for people who have missed that from about 60 days ago, here is our president talking about how he's going to get rid of the red tape regarding Sandy.
My instructions to the federal agency has been, I want you to cut through red tape. I want you to cut through bureaucracy. There's no excuse for inaction.
I instructed my team not to let red tape and bureaucracy get in the way of solving problems.
We are not going to tolerate red tape. We're not going to tolerate bureaucracy. And you know, I've instituted a 15-minute rule, essentially, on my team. You return everybody's phone calls in 15 minutes.
And so,
So what do you think about
talking
that?
about the red tape? But then, you know, people on Capitol Hill are trying to blame Boehner when he was looking at that Senate bill that was loaded up with a bunch of pork.
Yeah, well, golf clap for that Oscar-winning performance reel from Obama, paying lip service to the exigency and emergency and urgency of helping out Sandy victims. Aloha and mahalo, right? You know, there's a lot of drama and kabuki and theatrics going on Capitol Hill right now. I think it's ridiculous to fully blame Boehner for the gridlock that's happening over this bill. And the context for the spat, I think, doesn't bode well for the Republican leadership, because although there are die-hard committed fiscal conservatives who are sincerely opposing this bill because of the pork, the context for this battle was apparently a snit fit between Boehner and Cantor over how the fiscal cliff vote went down. And we reported on this on Twitchy, my curation and aggregation site, over the weekend, that there were tweets and messages coming out of Capitol Hill late on Sunday that the bill was pulled because of you know, the resentment between those two boiling over. And so there's a lot of intrigue going on there. In the meantime, the usual pork-stuffed emergency relief bill is finally being torn apart, not so much by Republicans on Capitol Hill as conservative watchdogs and activists who've been blowing the whistle on all of the piggy-porky stuff that's put into this this bill that's supposed to be for Sandy victims, but ends up benefiting Guantanamo Bay, fisheries in Alaska, Head Start.
The Smithsonian.
Hey, let's talk about gun ownership for a second. It's another major issue in this country, perhaps the top issue still after Newtown. And now we're finding out that Hollywood is outraged. They're cutting 30-second spots saying we have to stop this right now. But as you have pointed out before, the irony of Hollywood getting upset while hiring armed security guards to protect them and their children in all aspects of their life. Don't take those guns away.
Yes, yes, and we've talked about it on this show and on Fox and Friends Weekend. There's a plug for Fox and Friends Weekend. That these smug elitists have such selective disdain for armed security. You know, it's a concealed carry for me, but not for thee. And everyone from Michael Moore to my Twitter pal Russell Simmons, who was denying that he had bodyguards, but has had them, you know, over a long time. His ex-wife and his daughters benefit from it, and any number of these big moguls in Hollywood who benefit from that and are now spreading this anti-gun propaganda so that the rest of innocent law-abiding gun owners are not only marginalized but demonized for exercising those same rights to protect themselves themselves and their families.
And we showed a picture there of two of the editors or owners of, this is the Journal News, right, there in West Nyack, New York. They also are, that's the newspaper who decided to publish a map, an interactive map of the gun owners in their district, in their
two counties.
Neighborhood, two counties.
Yes.
And now we've heard from Politico that they are going to have armed guards at their offices. I mean, so they begrudge people personally from wanting to protect their homes, yet they can have armed guards at their offices because of the emails they've gotten.
Yes, that's right, Allison. And let me be clear that I oppose any kind of death threats or violent threats of any kind. But it is very difficult to muster up any kind of sympathy for these witch hunt journalists who, in the wake of the Newtown massacre, exploited it to try and go after the very people who make this country safer. I mean, this interactive map was completely reprehensible. There are several other newspapers, and I've written about them over the years, that have done the same kind of thing, that end up endangering the lives of people who have been victims of crime. I mean, did this paper go out and interview any of these people who are in the database to find out why they are armed now? It's because they are trying to exercise their rights to protect their homes. They may have been victims of home invasion robberies, domestic violence. They may be widows who are living alone. And instead of doing that kind of journalism, no, they capitalized and sensationalized on a tragedy. Shame on them.
Well, good for Putnam County, New York, because they're saying, no, Journal News, we're not going to give you the list of who has legal guns in our county. Michelle, it's great kicking off the new year with you. Thank you very much for joining us today from Colorado Springs. We'll see you back here next
this weekend.
Twitchy.com.
Take care.
All right.
Yes, I am.
I'm saying that's her aggregate website.
I'm a little twitchy, too.
That's good to know.